Hello everyone, just Gordon here and welcome back to another Planet Zoo real life inspiration video. Today we're looking at the Scottish Highland Cattle, the adorable little floof balls, and we're getting started right away in Safaripark Beekse, where you can admire these beautiful animals from the comfort of your own car. And not just the Scottish Highland Cattle, in the background we could also see some heck cattle, and as we can see on the sign, some red deer as well. So we enter this area, which is called the European Woods, across a cattle grid, obviously, because that's what allows us cars to come in without allowing the animals to get out. And as for the habitat itself, well, you can see it is just a large stretch of open forest, a true European woods. It doesn't get more Dutch than this, at least. It's completely flat. But yeah, you've got some open bits, you got some shaded bits. It's really quite nice for the animals, and there's a lot to see. Over here you can also see a red deer buck, and the cattle really do like to hang out around the sides of the roads, mainly because that's also where the food is, but also they really like to stand on the road, which is less convenient for the cars. But the road is nice and hard, especially when it's wet and soggy. It's a little nicer for their hooves. Over there we can also see a little bit of shelter for all of the animals on here. It's nice when it's raining and stuff that they do have somewhere to go. And yeah, as you can see, they definitely do like hanging around the side of the road. You can get really close to them and really get great views of them. Also in the distance we can see the water of the boat safari. There is also part of it kind of fenced in into this habitat, allowing the Highland cattle to cool off a little bit on a hot summer's day. So yeah, that is just super nice. And as we are driving over here, we're also going to drive up to some of the deer, all nice together over here with their beautiful antlers, and it's really cool. You get a little red deer sneak peek, red deer inspiration video sneak peek, I suppose. But yeah, other than that, more open areas, more forest, but it's mainly all there is. And as you get to the end of the enclosure, once again we're going to cross a cattle grid, once again allowing us to cross into the next zone, the Asian forest, without allowing the animals to do so. So next up we are in Parc animalier de Bouillon, where we have a slightly less flat enclosure, I guess you could say. First of all, we're walking up to a little bit of shelter, where the cattle was a little bit startled by my microphone, I think, and they have a little bit of a slip and slide over there in their separation area. I'm really glad none of them fell, because I would have felt horrible, but everyone's okay. And as we keep walking, we get a view of their enclosure over here. Yeah, typical Bouillon enclosure, where we're looking down from the top of the hill, and we do get some neat views of the cows though, really quite nice. Next up we have Dierenrijk. We are next to that little barnyard area that I showed in the barnyard area video, and we're going uphill towards the Highland Kettles, which I guess they should be high up. It's starting to make sense to me. Beekse is actually not doing them justice, but we can see during a hot summer day the grass is a little bit more dried out, but overall a nice large enclosure for them. Next up we have the domain of the caves of Han, and as we leave our little train that brings us to the entrance of the zoo, the first animal we encounter actually is the Scottish Highland Cattle. I did not see any. They have a huge enclosure, so they probably were on the other side or something. But yeah, you can see over here, just absolutely massive, just a very simple thin wire mesh fence, and then this super typical kind of kettle fence, which is exactly one of the pieces we got in the pack, so that was pretty cool to see. And yeah, as you keep walking along the side, you get some more peeks into it. There's also some signage, of course, about them, so you can imagine what they would look like if they were standing right in front of you, which in this case they weren't. But yeah, really cool that they're kind of like the entrance animal, I guess you could almost say. But that's pretty much it. That's just, it's a big field with a bunch of trees that have been planted, so in a whole bunch of years this might actually look a bit more forested, but for now you can see once again a little bit of shelter and another separation area over there, but that's it for the caves of Han. And we're going to move on to the last zoo already. This is the Zonnegloed Animal Sanctuary, where we have a little separation area and some shelter over here once again, and there is a enclosure kind of covered by all of these trees and things. You kind of need to peek between the bushes to see the cattle, but hey, that gives them a nice bit of privacy. There's also a path on the other side of the enclosure, which I haven't recorded anything of, which makes me feel like there wasn't that much visibility, similar to this one actually. But yeah, still pretty cool. And that's gonna be it for this video. So I hope you got some Scottish Highland Cattle inspiration, and I hope you're having a lot of fun with the Barnyard Animal Pack. Stay tuned for more inspiration videos. Last week I was incredibly busy, so I really could not do any more, but more coming. So see you then. Bye bye.